Greetings! My name is Cheryl Steighner, and I'm a third grade teacher from Tacoma, Washington. To me, one of the best parts about being an educator today is how easy it is to connect with others all around the world. My presentation is called Finding Your People, and I will be discussing why it's important for teachers to have a supportive network, offer places to look for your people both locally and online, and finally offer some helpful reminders and tips for continuing your journey. To first think about the why, I want to transport you to the forest. The California coast redwoods are an inspiring sight to behold. The way the trees tower over you and the sun's rays cut through the branches makes you feel peaceful and at one with nature. And even on the gloomiest of days, the fog creates a calming and tranquil environment as it billows through the forest floor. Redwood trees are one of the oldest living things on the planet and have endured centuries of change. How did they become so hardy? What can we learn from them as educators? And how can we apply what we've learned? First, let's explore some facts about these national treasures. Despite their towering height, redwoods actually have a very shallow root system that spreads outward rather than down. The roots intertwine with those of other redwoods, sometimes for hundreds of feet, helping the tall trees to withstand strong winds and floods. Second, fog and even wildfires are essential to a redwood's survival. Wildfires aid in reproduction by clearing away competing brush, helping seeds germinate, and adding nutrients to the soil. Fog, on the other hand, is absorbed through the tree's needles, allowing water to reach its tallest parts. And third, redwoods can sprout trees from the roots of a parent tree and will continue to grow even if the tree falls down. So what can educators learn from redwood trees? First, in order to grow professionally and personally, we must reach out and support those close to us. When we extend our roots to build up others, we also build up ourselves. The support we gain from our connections helps us to weather the difficult times. Second, fire and fog are essential to growth. Educators need a fire or a passion to drive their practice. This fire motivates us and pushes us to be better. And, like the cloud of fog that is absorbed by the redwood's needles, our friends and colleagues in the online cloud nourish us through their digital presence. Finally, just as the roots of a parent tree support new members of the forest, mentors can come from the unlikeliest of places and are essential for our survival in this profession. Like the redwoods, it's important for us as educators to have a network to support us and help us grow. I like to call this finding your people. Think of it as the feeling you have when you're surrounded by others that truly get you. It's often a sigh of relief, a feeling like you're home or shared me toos among new friends. Having such a network can provide many positive benefits to educators. For starters, it helps individuals process difficult times and feel supported. Your people become your sounding board, your cheerleading squad, and your think tank. Having a network can boost creativity and productivity because individuals in your network are willing to collaborate and share with each other. The group takes on the mantra that you are better together. Your people also provide a safe space to explore new interests and learn new skills. And finally, having a network helps us create our own identities and feel a sense of purpose. Being a part of something larger than ourselves can give our work meaning and provide direction. This presentation will now focus on different places for you to look for your people, offer some things to remember as you're on your journey, and challenge you to pass on the spark once you've found it. Seth Godin notes that a group needs only two things to be a tribe: a shared interest, and a way to communicate. There are a lot of places to look for your people, both locally and online. Probably my favorite way to find connections and expand my network is through social media outlets like Twitter, Google+, Facebook, and Pinterest. I tend to use each site a little bit differently, but each have allowed me to connect and collaborate with others, both near and far away. These sites easily connect like-minded educators and provide simple ways to digitally communicate and share resources with each other. And because you're always growing and evolving as an educator, so is your network. These sites are relevant and useful for your professional growth because you are in control of who you follow. Your personal learning network can include other classroom teachers, educational experts, authors, organizations, and even companies that you support. There are also groups, hashtags, and chats for nearly every educational specialty, interest, or region. Some of my favorite Twitter hashtags are the California Ed Chat, the New Teacher Chat, 21st Century Chat, the Nerdy Book Club, Run Teacher Run, and EduGood. They all kind of offer something a little bit different, but I still turn to these whenever I'm looking for, specific things. Grade-specific chats on Twitter or even collaborative Pinterest boards make it easy to find others with similar experiences and styles. I also find that the more involved I am in these circles, the more connected I feel with other users. Programs like International Dot Day, the Global Read Aloud, and Hour of Code also make finding others to collaborate with easy. These are fun activities to not only connect with other educators, but also allow our students to see the power in these collaborations. When beginning your social media journey, I encourage you to start your network slowly. Find one person you really admire or connect with, and then look at who they follow. Over time, you'll build up your network of educators that will inspire you each time you log in. Remember, though, it's not a numbers game. It's better to have a small group of people in your network that you're comfortable with and connect with than hundreds of people who you think you should be following just because everyone else is. This is definitely one of those instances when you have to stay true to yourself and be aware of your passions and interests. Blogging is another way to connect with others just like you. Blogging allows you to be reflective, share your interests and expertise with others, and refine who you are as an educator. When you blog for yourself, you create a core identity around which others can rally. It also creates a sense of community. Education can be a lonely profession sometimes, but we can find comfort in reading about each other's experiences, oftentimes they're just like ours that we have in our own classroom. Moving on to more physical places to find your people, formal and informal conferences are great places to look. Educational conferences allow educators to come together for a shared interest or to learn more about a certain topic. Even though conferences can be a bit more formal, I think they are a great way to meet other educators from your region or expose yourself to others outside of your local geography. The trick is to spend most of your time outside of the sessions, engaged in conversations with people who are also at the conference. Most larger conferences will have lounges scattered throughout that help facilitate conversation among participants. At smaller conferences, Talking to other attendees before or after a session can help you process what you've learned and gain new insights. I've found that a lot of the best information I've gotten from conferences have actually come from times when I've chosen to sit in the lounge rather than attend a session. Also, along with that, attending after hours meetups or social events can also help make new connections in a relaxed and fun way when you're at a conference. They allow relationships to be built upon shared experiences, and they help solidify a lot of those connections that you make at conferences. Ed camps are another type of conference, an unconference. They're a lot more informal though. The focus is about educators taking charge of their professional development and stirring conversations among participants. Ed camps are unique learning and networking opportunities for educators and offer an inspiring and often jam-packed day of learning. I enjoy ed camps because they provide fresh perspectives from a variety of educators. The last ed camp I helped host was attended by pre-service teachers, new teachers, veteran teachers, administrators, and education supporters. It was an incredibly diverse group of people who all came together for a single shared purpose. Ed camps are also great because they occur organically. Learning and collaboration happen spontaneously and literally anywhere. I always cherish the conversations I have at ed camps because they're always focused on improving our profession. Now that you know where to look, here are 3 things to remember on your journey to find your people. First, it's important to connect. Using social media and attending conferences can feel a little like going to the playground by yourself when you were a kid. For me, it always took a lot of courage to go up to someone new and say hi, but once I did, it was usually a lot of fun. It's not always easy to tell someone you've never met that you think that they're doing great things or that they have greatly influenced your work. But it's up to us as educators to promote creativity and innovation within our field. The more educators recognize each other's achievements, the more we will advance our profession. The same goes for conferences and meetups. A simple smile, hello, and genuine compliment can go a long way. Plus, you never know what might happen as a result. Second, you need to reflect. There are a lot of people doing all sorts of cool things around the world. Before jumping all into something new, I like to reflect on how I can make it work for me. I'm lucky to have some downtime built into my day where I can just think. Some of my best ideas for projects have come from zoning out during my morning commute or as I'm putting my daughter to sleep at night, or just browsing my RSS feed in the evenings. I also find that it's important to get my thoughts down in a safe place. I like sticky notes, but for me, they always tend to get lost, and so I rely on my smartphone or my computer to digitally record my thoughts. Google Drive and Evernote are my favorite tools for capturing my thoughts because I can access them anywhere and my notes are easy to share with others if I do end up collaborating with someone. Finally, it's important to remember to self-respect. This last one is important but often forgotten. We aren't perfect people, nor are we superhuman. So we need to stop beating ourselves up because we think we're not doing enough, because we are. When we start to count someone else's blessings, we begin to lose sight of our own individual path. Good things happen when we realize we have things to offer, and even greater things happen when we start to offer them to others. John Muir said, "Between every two pines is a doorway to a new world." I like to think this is what happens when two educators connect and collaborate with each other. A whole new world of possibilities opens up. So, here's my challenge to you. First, reach out to one new person on social media that you feel like you have a connection with. Give them a shout out or send them a message thanking them for their work, or even propose a collaborative project with them. Whatever you choose to do, remember the lesson from the redwood tree. The more your roots expand outward, the better you will be able to withstand harsher conditions. Second, attend or organize a meetup in your community or region. This could be a conference or an ed camp, or even just a meeting of some really cool teachers you have a lot in common with. The point is to meet, get the conversations flowing, and see where the connections take you. I guarantee you will leave feeling refreshed and energized when you spend time with people who share similar interests. 3. Be loud and proud about sharing who you are as an educator. Remember that you have great things to offer to others, and that just as you are out there looking for your people, someone out there is looking for you. Knowing who you are as an educator will act as a lighthouse to others, and finding your people will become easier and easier with each passing day. Above all, remember that meaningful connections take time. Just as the redwoods have had to endure centuries of change and growth, educators on their quest to find their people must be patient with themselves and others as they navigate the many different avenues. Further, when you finally feel like you've met your tribe, remember it's often just the start of something even bigger and better to come. Thanks so much for your time. Please feel free to reach out to me on social media. I can be found at Cheryl Steighner on Twitter and Google+, and would love to have you as one of my people.